It is often said that if you don't move, you won't notice your chains. To start off this year, I decided to move. Vlogging makes you look so stupid. I just arrived here and first thing I'm doing is energy drink, not recommended. After going for such a long time without vlogging, I can definitively say that I have completely forgotten how to vlog. But hopefully my skills are coming back. So finally it's in my hotel room, and yeah, I've been lodged in this particular hotel before. It's quite a nice place. I'm going to show you a little bit of it. Yeah, my stay here is going to be for the next 3 days. We're going to move between Limbe and Buea, like a lot between these first 2 days, and then eventually on the third day we're going to focus a bit more here. So why am I here in Buea? Why am I here? I'm going to take a shot. So essentially this is sort of like a getaway trip, really. From the normal life schedule that I've had over the past couple of weeks and maybe months. So one thing that I learned to do is there's this concept of the monk mode, which is a period of time where you just focus on work only and try to eliminate all kinds of distractions. No kind of social interactions, although I went to the poor ones. But trying to limit all forms of social interactions, trying to limit all forms of, should I just say, interactions with really anybody else apart from just myself and my work. And the reason for this was because I wanted to really start off the year with a very concentrated kind of mindset where I would just focus on getting tasks done, focus on accelerating my goals for the year, and focus on really building a solid foundation on which to continue the rest of the year. And it was really good. It was really a good 1 month and 2 weeks. And although I was supposed to go for like 2 months, but I decided to cut it at this point because there's the concept or the principle of only complete about 98%. I mean, this is not really up to 98%, but I decided to cut it at this point because I'm seeing some good progress, and I just wanted to reward myself with a little bit of getaway. This whole entrepreneurship thing, I'm really just finding my way around it. By listening first of all to those who have been there before, those who have like a lot of experience, those who have already gone through the paths that I intend to go on or that I want to go on, that I am going on, and for the most part just trying to find my way around it. And so far it's been quite interesting, but yeah, let's see how it goes in the future. So this next couple of days are really going to be interesting, at least for me. Hopefully you enjoy watching. And we are going to go to the pool several times. We are going to go to the beach. We are going to visit some few interesting places over here in Buea. Buea has a rich history when it comes to Cameroon. I equally intend to have a couple of meetings with other entrepreneurs here since I'm prospecting the second edition of the Exponential Youth Summit. We had the first edition last year. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at the Exponential Youth Summit, and we had about like 130 participants, both online and on site. And this year, I want to bring it to Buea to kind of like expand the impact and enable other young Cameroonians from different parts of the country to equally feel what it is that we are doing over at Exponential and some of our impact. I've been speaking a lot. Let me close it here. So most of you are probably thinking why I'm speaking into this thing. This is actually my phone and I'm using it as a microphone right now. The reason for that is I could not carry my professional mic around. That's a bit too heavy. And I like to travel quite kind of like just put on a backpack with a couple of clothes in it, maybe a pair of shoes or stuff like that, and just get on the road. So I'm going to try to make this experience enjoyable for both you and I. Two of my viewers, such as you, have reached out to me in the past couple of weeks and told me to do more vlogs. So yeah, I'm kind of keeping it a bit vloggy now. This is a bit less scripted as compared to most of the other videos. And so over the past couple of months, I have been writing an email newsletter. I started an email newsletter in December last year, and I've been writing quite often, like 1 to 2 times a week, between that consistency. And writing is one of those things that has really helped me to be able to understand not only my own thoughts, but to be able to really analyze what is going on around me and to just calm down. So for other people, they meditate. For me, I write. And when I write, I really get to think about the things that I want to say, to think about what I want to do, and it's been a really good way for me to organize not only my entrepreneurial kind of creative mind, but also to be very objective and to be focused. So if you want to subscribe to my email newsletter, by the way, it's free. It's abondo.substack.com. I'm going to leave a link in the description below. You can hit on it and subscribe. And yeah, and read all the content that I've written in the past couple of months. But in one of the email newsletters, I do mention that I do my most uninterrupted thinking while I'm traveling, and that was just the case yesterday while traveling from Buea all the way to Buea. And I inevitably noticed that, reflecting on my life during college days, during university times, there was a clear contrast between what was at that time and what is now. For the most part, there was a lot of structure at that time. At least structure that was created, not necessarily by me, but there was some level of structure. And I noticed that right now, there isn't structure unless I create it with this whole entrepreneurship thing. And that kind of makes me think, like, if I wasn't the kind of person who could create structure out of inexistence of structure, what exactly will be happening right now? Yeah, I'm probably doing a master's degree somewhere, but I don't know if that's really what I want to do. For the most part, one of the main areas of difference is the fact that a lot of interesting things have happened after university, and it causes me to think. It causes me to think if I'm living up to my full potential. It's inevitable that we're all growing older. No matter how old you are, you're growing older as the days go by. And it's almost impossible to not think, am I living up to my full potential? As time is going on, am I doing the most that I could? Am I making use of opportunities that present themselves to me in the best way? Am I capitalizing upon the chances that I have right now in the present moment? Am I extracting the most that I can out of my current circumstances? And I think about this a lot. And although I've achieved quite some interesting things by being focused on work for the past couple of months, which is absolutely amazing, in hindsight, I always feel like I could do more. I don't know if that's just that natural side of me that is insatiable, or if I'm really not living up to my full potential. And one way that I try to combat that particular thought is by blocking out my time so much that I only have productive work to do. And I've noticed that as much as I block out my time, when I do have free time, I still think like that. I would say that when it comes to productivity, I am easily among the top 5% of young Cameroonians who are productive. Like in my age group, right? Within my age group, I'm among the top 5%. But I'm not. I can't feel it. I don't feel it. And sometimes I do feel like an imposter when people give me praises. Most of the times it's, of course, earned praises, deserved praises, right? But I feel like, why am I being given these praises? So I guess the whole point of this rant is there a point of this rant? There's no point to it, but I just wanted to really think about this. And I watched this short motivational video recently, which where they were talking about imposter syndrome, and they essentially said the reason why we feel the imposter syndrome is because we're actually imposters. Of course, you have never been at that particular place, at that particular point. You're the only version of yourself that has been there ever. And so you can't feel normal. You're going to feel a bit abnormal, like an imposter, for some time before you calibrate to the environment. And I was really thinking that that's actually true. But what's the best way to deal with imposter syndrome? I'm just talking about a couple of stuff right now. I think it's time to stop. It's time to stop. I don't know how much you know about the concept of archetypes, or archetypes as some other people decide to pronounce it, but I identify mostly as a sigma male. So there's the alpha male, there's the beta male, and there's the sigma male. There's other like gamma and all these tons of crap that people have made up. But the three most prominent ones are alpha, beta, and sigma. And in terms of how they present themselves in the social hierarchy, because These are like terms that have been used to coin how individuals place themselves within social hierarchies or place themselves within communities. And an alpha male is someone who is aggressive in their leadership. They are going to impose their presence, they are going to make themselves heard. I mean, this is basically what I've researched and I've read from the content that I consumed, and I cannot say this is scientifically backed. Although to some degree we see some aspects of biology playing a very important role in determining how these things eventually come to be, or why a particular group of people display a particular archetype. So, I mean, back to the topic. Alpha males are going to be more dominant, they're going to be physically aggressive, they're going to be more they're going to try to appear larger than life itself, and each time they show up in a space or a physical space, they want to make themselves known. While beta males, on the other hand, are always like submissive to the alpha males, or submissive to the group setting, right, or to the community. They always take more like a very backseat role, and that's different from following leadership. That's quite different, but they have a very, should I say, nice kind of structure, nice personality, and are often very resentful but unable to display any form of discontent, or not necessarily display or express or admit any form of discontent or general dissatisfaction. And then there's a beta male who kind of goes out of the hierarchy. So the sigma male goes out of the hierarchy and he stands as an individual of his own. He does not follow the structures. He does not really depend on organized settings. He's going to create groups sometimes. He's going to lead sometimes. But for the most part, he likes his independence and he likes his solitude. He likes being alone. He likes walking alone. He likes accomplishing things alone. When he sees the need to involve other people in the things that have to be accomplished, of course, he's going to go ahead and involve other people. But for the most part, he's an independent thinker, an independent being. And his fortress is solitude. And I've come to realize that for the most part, I enjoy a lot of solitude. I like being alone. I like being in my own space because it gives me the opportunity and the ability to do exactly what I want, how I want it, and not be interrupted by anyone. The reason why I did monk mode at the beginning of this year is because of the freedom that it gives. And it's not the freedom to do what you want, but the freedom to do it when you want, or the freedom to do it when I want and how exactly I wanted to do it. And I've noticed that being in social circles is great. It's amazing. I know when to be social. I know how to be social. I know how to calibrate myself in social circles. But statistically for me, it has drained my energy for the most part. When I'm in a group for a long time, I just feel drained. And so I like to withdraw in order to recharge. My shoulder's hurt very badly. It's probably from the very intense shoulder workout I've been doing at the gym recently. But that's a story for another day. And I really just wanted to talk about this because self-awareness is quite important. Knowing who you are, knowing the traits that you possess, knowing how to essentially carry yourself in the role that you have is very, very important. Me, I can do things in a group. I can lead people for sure very well. I can organize, I can coordinate, I can delegate absolutely fine. I can be charismatic, I can be seductive, if you like to call it that even. I can be all of these things. But they drain me, I feel drained. There are other people who play these roles and they feel energized talking to people the whole day. But that's just not me. After some time, I just get really down. I just need to get a nap and then wake up, spend some time alone and recharge. As somebody who is doing his own thing, and by that I mean trying to figure out this entrepreneurship route and leadership space, come to realize that there's really no one size fits all answer to the questions that I ask, or to the questions that individuals who are on this path ask. But two of the most important things that I've come to really observe are mentorship and reading. And the reason why these two are the most important things is because they're a bit out of, should I say, the standardized or the structured curriculum. And you could go to school to become a lawyer. Of course, you could go to school to become an entrepreneur. But as opposed to going to school to become a lawyer, there are some specific principles and methods and functions, speaking like a programmer, that you can really apply, right, to several scenarios. It's like there's this law and this is how you apply it. If this situation happens like this is what you do. But entrepreneurship is something that's completely spontaneous because anything can happen at any time. And leadership is the same thing, right? And knowing who you are, knowing the traits that you possess are the very first stage to actually progressing from where you are forward. If you don't know who you are, then you do things that push you behind. You engage in activities that cause you to recline. You take on roles that cause a decline in your success. And so there's this interesting concept which I really like, and I've been quite a fan of it, and it's the concept of us all being actors. And I really like the concept of us being actors because for me, I kind of go through life as an actor. And by actor, I don't mean faking things. By actor, I mean assuming the identity at that particular point. So this book, Think and Grow Rich, and even the Bible does mention it, right? As a man thinketh, so he is. So you are a product of your thoughts. You are exactly who you think you are. So if you think you're somebody and you act like that person, you become that person. And so that's a very, very powerful piece of advice right there, because it gives us the knowledge that our identity is in our hands. The ability to craft the person that we become is completely dependent upon us. It is nobody's job. It is not an outside role. It is completely your responsibility to craft the person that you want to become. And how do you do that? By thinking like that kind of a person, by acting like that kind of a person, and by eventually becoming that kind of a person. Anything can happen at any time. Whatever they taught you in school, maybe that's like the pattern on how to address a specific set of scenarios, but you can't always guarantee that what you know is going to work or what you apply is going to work. And so it kind of throws me in this creative space where I have to constantly ask questions and read books. And for me, mentorship has actually come to be very important. Because listening to mentors and taking mentorship advice has enabled me avoid some mistakes that I would have made if I didn't. Helps me to also take best practices from those who know and have been there before me. But most importantly, it enables me to not make mistakes that I've already made, right? And instead make my own new mistakes. And, coupling this with reading, I've noticed that when I started out, by started out, I don't mean it's not like a long time ago. When I say I started out, it seems like it was like 10 years ago. No, when I started doing this thing, I was just winging it. I'm still winging it to some degree now, but when I started out, really, I wasn't taking so much of advice and so much of counsel and asking about the nitty-gritties of things. But as time has gone forward, I've noticed that I'm a bit more conservative now with my decisions. I'm a bit more conservative with my actions. I don't just do something that I think is right. I always try to confirm with a mentor or with someone who knows better than me. And if you read the book, The 48 Laws of Power, I think that's the book by Robert Greene. There he talks about the fact that as you grow within your position of power, hierarchy and ranking, you're supposed to be more aggressive when it comes to your decisions. You're supposed to trust your gut more. But instead, as people grow, they learn to trust themselves less and they trust other people and other materials more. And I'm kind of experiencing that going on with me. And so it's a really difficult place to be, because you know that at some point a decision that you're going to make has higher stakes. You can't just completely trust yourself because you could be wrong. Your guts could be wrong. And so you could be making a fatal mistake. But how do you balance? I guess my question here really is, how do you balance having to trust yourself and your guts and having to try to do the right thing? Because if you mess up at the starting phases, you can get forgiven, right? But at some point, there are some decisions that if you mess up with, you can never go back from it. And so, do you trust yourself? This has been a long rant. 9 minutes. I'll probably cut this off a lot, but yeah. This was not planned. And that's the second time it's happening in the past 2 years. A little bit of a progress report here. Yesterday ended on a good note. I went on a date with a lady I met over here. That seems to happen quite easily. It was a good date, and I don't think that this is something that I really share much on this channel. I don't talk a lot about my personal life, especially when it comes to like dating experiences. But yeah, she was an interesting lady. I like I like ladies that have a personality. I think it's increasingly more difficult to see those these days, given that everybody is just obsessed about social media, and developing a real sense of character, personality, desire, vision, drive. It's almost an impossibility, or at least seeing somebody with that is quite difficult. So it's a bit refreshing to see somebody who actually has a good personality or an interesting personality, and some goals for herself. So today's going to be interesting. I'll be going over to the beach. I don't think I got enough sleep. But anyway, that's fine. That's alright. Swim, of course, create some content for you guys since you want me to vlog a bit more. And yeah, I'm going to go over to Limbe, go to the beach, create some content over there, swim, explore the area, enjoy the beauty of the place, and then come back to Buea, get some rest, and get some work done. I haven't really gotten much work done in the past couple of hours, and that's not good. I already feel quite guilty for that, so I have to make up for it. But yeah, let's go. Bite your chest. Kill this bit for me.
Klaus Fingers.
Purchase your tracks today.
So I just arrived here at the beach. I think this should be my second time here at the beach. First time I came with my good friend Lily, and this time it's just me riding solo. And the good thing about being solo is that you get to do exactly what you want. You don't have to agree with someone on what to do or what not to do. I think I lost my way, right? But I'm gonna find it. Anyway, I can hear the sound of the beach. I think you can hear in the background as well. Yeah, thoughts have a good experience. Right, let's go. Alright, so we are here. I'm yet to get in, but there are so many people here. So many people here at the beach. Anyway, it's gonna be a good experience. There's just so much to say, right? But many words don't fill the basket. One of the beautiful things about being solo or traveling solo is that you have, and I like speed. Speed is something that I personally like. I like to do things fast. For example, I spent just 2 hours at the beach, I'm done there and I'm going back to Buea. Like it's that fast. It's that. Anyway, that's a quick update here, and let's see how it goes. Alright, so I just got a taxi and I'm about to leave now. Alright, so I just got back to base and I'm going to be going to monk mode for the next weeks. I'll make a separate video explaining what monk mode is about for me and how I do it. But essentially, it's like a duration of time to speed up my acceleration towards my goals. Again, it goes back here with the mic. I was talking with my good friend Bonte and Jebet yesterday, and we're going over some of the aspects relating to organizing events and organizing summits. And since we're planning to organize the next edition of the Exponential Youth Summit in the South, individuals within that space and talk with them about our vision and what it is that we are looking to achieve. And get the expert opinion. And it was a good meeting with Ejibed and Sam. And one thing that I did learn for this video is that having a team is necessary. If you did like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Growing family. Cheers.